Welcome again to Optics Straight in the Field. This time, in the new season 2019, we're going back to the basics, how to zero a rifle scope on a rifle.
But first we need to talk about the safety, because safety is always first. We are wearing safety glasses, earplugs, and the rifle is always pointed towards the target.
For this video, we are going to use some basic equipment. As you can see, we have a front rest and rear bag. We are using a Rössler Titan rifle in 308 with 7.8 barrel, and we are using Lapua match Stener L ammunition. The rifle scope is mounted on a rifle with a Dentler mount, and the rifle scope we are using is the Viper PST Gen 2 5-25 by 50 FFP made by Vortex.
So here we are going to present step by step for a beginner the best way to zero a rifle.
So the first step in zeroing the rifle is to approximately set the rifle scope, to zero the rifle scope, and to fit it to the point of impact. So how to do this is you remove the bolt and you try with bore sighting. That means that you look through the barrel and put the target on 100 meters exactly in the center of the image which you see through the barrel. So exactly in the center of the barrel. Once you have done this, then you adjust the reticle so that it's pointed directly into the target, into the center of the target. So when you're finished and you see the target in the center of the barrel and in the center of the reticle at the same time, then we could say dry zeroed the rifle. So you used bore sighting to find the approximate point of impact. Normally the real zeroing can only be done when shooting, but this is just so that the first impact is already in the target, so that you are not searching where your bullet went all around the target.
So the other alternative for bore sighting is using a laser. There are two types of laser, the external and internal one. The internal one, you place it directly in the chamber, and the other one that you place it at the end of the barrel. So what do? You put the target to 20 to 25 meters, turn on the laser. You have to look through the scope and see if the center of the scope and the laser beam matches on the target. If not, you have to adjust.
So once we have done all the previous steps, so the first step is safety. So when we did everything for safety, then the second step is bore sighting, either with a laser or through the bore of the barrel. Then we are already almost sure that the first shot we will take will be on the target, because if we don't have the shot on the target, then it's a problem. So the third step is, and this is an optional step, only if you're really a novice or if you're doing this for the first time or so, is to place the target on 30 meters and try the first shot on a target which is not far away, because on 30 meters, even if the scope is off, if it's not approximately zeroed, the shot will not be far away from the target. So this will be on 30 meters. It's enough if you're in 10 by 10 centimeters square or a 10 centimeters circle. That's enough that you know that on 100 meters you will also be in the target. So let's do the first shot on 30 meters. Okay, so now we will do this optional step when we take a shot, or actually two shots, to see really the grouping at 30 meters, just to be sure that when we shoot on 100 meters, when we zero the rifle scope, that we are definitely in the target, so that we are not searching and wondering where our shot went, either high or low or left or right. So we have set the target on 30 meters. We will take two 175 grain bullets from Lapua in 308 and see if our approximate zeroing worked well. So I can already see on the target that we are a little bit to the right, approximately 5 centimeters to the right. And because we know that our scope has a click value of 1 centimeter per 100 meters, we also know that at 30 meters, that means approximately 3 millimeters. So we have to do 15 clicks approximately to get this 5 centimeters in zeroed. And we will definitely then be inside of the target on 100 meters. Now when we have fired a shot on 30 meters, and because we are using an FFP scope, so the Vortex Viper PST 5 to 25 by 50 FFP, that means first focal plane, we can also use the reticle subtensions on any distance to know how many clicks we need to apply. And in this case, we checked through the scope and we have seen that we have to apply 10 clicks, not 15, like I said before. So I will try and apply 10 clicks and do another shot, and we will see if we went into the right direction and if I will hit the center. Okay, we apply the 10 clicks and let's try.
Okay, now we made sure that the rifle is zeroed at 30 meters. So we're going to move the target to 100 meters. We already moved the target, it's at 100 meters. And we're going to make a group of 3 shots, and then we're going to see where the shots landed.
Okay, then let's shoot and see. I will do a shot, then I will wait for approximately 30 seconds, do another one, 30 seconds, and the last one. Then we will check where the point of impact is, how the grouping looks, and do the final corrections. So I did 3 shots on 100 meters and I saw that the windage is well set. However, in elevation, we need to change the point of impact for approximately 5 centimeters or something similar. We will definitely see when we check the target. As you have seen, we have moved back to our office because now it comes the part where we need to apply the clicks so that we move our grouping to the center of the target. You probably have seen we have shot a 3-shot group approximately 4 centimeters above the target. And with this scope, normally with our vortex, which is on the rifle, we applied 4 clicks. But then we started to think, normally, but people don't have only scopes with this click value, they also have other scopes. And this is the reason why we are taking this part of the video here in our office, so that we can explain the differences between different scopes, and that you all can find the advice which will suit your scope and your rifle. So, Andras, what are the common click values?
There are
for the
3
scopes?
common click values. The first one is on the Vortex PST that we use on the range. The click value here is 0.1 milliradian, or 0.1 mil for our American viewers. That's
yeah.
right. Then we have the MOA versions. The first one is a quarter MOA, and the second one is the 1/8 MOA. These are the 3 most common.
Yeah, the MOA means for minute of angle.
That's right.
So what are the click values in millimeters on 100 meters? Because this is the most common used measure in Europe.
Yeah.
So
With our Vortex, which has 0.1 mil on there, the click value is 1. So 1 click moves the point of impact for 1 centimeter on 100 meters. With the quarter MOA, 7 millimeters on 100 meters for a click, and on 1/8 MOA, 3.5 millimeters on 100 meters for 1 click.
So 0.1 mil, this is a tactical scope, but also majority of European hunting scopes also has a click value of 1 centimeter per 100 meters.
Are there any other click values besides this one, 0.1, quarter, or 1/8 MOA? Are there any others on rifle
Yeah,
scopes?
there are. On wide angle rifle scopes, we find quite often half MOA click, that means approximately 14 millimeters. Then on some extremely precise bench rest scopes, you also find 1/10 of MOA, so that means approximately 2.9 millimeters per 100 meters. And then you also have some tactical scopes, the new ones from Schmidt & Bender, which come with a 5 millimeter click. This is 0.05 mil. And even on F-class scopes from Schmidt & Bender, you can even get a scope with 2.5 millimeter click. But all those are quite uncommon and rare. 1 centimeter, 1/4 MOA, and 1/8 MOA are the most common.
How to calculate how many clicks do you need to apply to move the grouping of impacts to the center of the target?
Well, Andras, in our particular case, we had to move the point of impact by 4 clicks, 4 centimeters, downside. So in this particular case with 0.1, we have to move by 4 clicks.
So 0.1 mil, yeah.
That's correct, 0.1 mil. With quarter MOA, you have to use 6 clicks downside, and with 1/8 MOA, you have to use 11 approximately. You have to take approximately 11 clicks downside.
So this is calculated by the distance on the target where you need to move the grouping. In our case, 4 centimeters divided by the click value.
That's correct.
So if you have a 7 millimeter click value, that means you take 4 centimeters and you divide it by 7 millimeters,
That's
and you
correct.
get 6 clicks. With 1/8 MOA, you have 4 centimeters divided by 3.5 millimeters, since each click moves the point of impact for 3.5 millimeters, and you get 11 and something, so 11 clicks.
That's entirely correct, yes.
So in our case, we had the grouping of impacts positioned 4 centimeters above the center of the target.
Yeah.
This was an approximation. But let's say that the grouping of impacts is positioned, let's say, I don't know, 4.6 centimeters above the target. Can we still make an accurate adjustment with the click value that we have here in the vortex?
No, all these adjustments are, I would say, more or less average, or how to say. It's like if you need to move for 4.6 centimeters. With this scope, you will move 5 clicks and you will be 4 millimeters
So you
below.
basically round the number.
Yeah. So it's always like you divide the number of centimeters you need to move the point of impact with the click value, and then you use the approximation. Because no scope has a small enough click value that it will be completely accurate.
So 1/10 of MOA gets close, but still,
Yeah,
there are
even
deviations.
The Schmidt & Bender with 2.5 millimeters, it's really, really accurate. But still, you can be a little bit off.
But on the other side, we also have to know that there is no rifle in the world, or at least they're really rare, that will be accurate enough that you could use those, I would say, 2 millimeters or 3 millimeters or 100 meters. So it's always approximately, but it's good enough, because the grouping of any rifle is usually much bigger than the click value. Because sometimes people say, okay, I have a click value, let's say 1 centimeters, and I have when I shoot on a target, I move for 3 clicks and I'm on the left side of the bullseye, or I move 1 click backwards and I'm on the right side of the bullseye. True, if you would be shooting with a laser, but with a normal rifle, the grouping itself is the bottleneck. So it's not such a big problem.
Yeah.
Well, one more additional question. If you click, when you click up, down, left, or right, what do you move? You move the point of impact or the reticle itself?
Always the point of impact.
Always the point of impact.
You have different markings on the turrets.
Yes, like I know some doctor, they have H and so on.
Yeah, H is from
What does it
German,
mean?
Hohe.
Yeah.
People can also say in English, high. That means if you have a arrow and H, that means in this direction the point of impact will move up or high. With let's say with size, with all American scopes and so on, you have marked up, and that means the point of impact is moving up when you're applying clicks up.
So not the reticle itself,
No.
but always the point of impact.
Well, the reticle is moving, but all the markings on the scopes, like Cyclone has this done really well. They have an arrow which shows one direction down, one direction up. This is a counterclockwise scope. That means when you're rotating counterclockwise, the point of impact goes up. And you always, when you look at the markings, you know that this means how the point of impact will move. You never imagine how the reticle is moving, because then usually people do mistakes. So it's much easier if you say, okay, up means that the bullet will go up. The point of impact will go up.
Okay.
Okay, I think we covered most of the things. So we applied 4 clicks with our vortex, and we are going back to the range to see if we will hit the center and if we zeroed the rifle and the scope.
So we noticed from the previous shooting when we did a group that we are approximately 4 centimeters high. So we adjusted the scope, 4 clicks down, and we will do the last 3-shot group to see if we are in the center. So I already see through the scope that we zeroed the scope correctly, and now the rifle is ready for either competitions or hunting. So we came to the end of this video regarding zeroing of the scope. As you have seen, this video was intended for the novice hunters and shooters, for someone who is beginning with this sport, and we really touched the basics. So the main takeaways are:
The first thing is the safety. You have to make sure that everything and everyone is safe.
Remember to take at least 3 shots, 3 groups. Don't spare on ammo.
And if you're a beginner, it is sometimes better to zero the rifle at 30 meters meaning you set a target at 30 meters and then take a test shot and see where you are, make the correction, and then move on to the 100 meter.
Yeah, so
Point.
for the first time that you're not going to the 100 meters and then you're searching where your shot went, it's easier to do it on,
Exactly.
On 30 meters. You said 3 shot groups. This is because of the error a shooter can make. So never zero the scope by just adjusting the scope based on one shot, because you are always able to do a mistake at that one shot, some kind of error, and then you never know exactly where you are.
Correct.
So always take 3 shots, then measure where the group center is, and then do the correction.
So you should never spare your ammo on
No.
zeroing.
On zeroing, I would say 10 rounds. It's a good number to start with zeroing. When somebody zeroes a rifle with 3 shots or less, I would say it's questionable, because you can always make an error. But if you do at least 2 groups of 3 shots, then you are definitely more accurate and you do the zeroing better. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this basic video about zeroing. I hope you learned something new, and please subscribe and come back.